We get a blast from the past in this week's Bleach Chapter 504, Before the Shadows. So, we pick up where last week left off with the Overkill releasing Chojiro's Bankai, which turns out to be a lightning-based with the ability to take control over the weather. Overkill says that it's been 200 years since his Bankai has been seen, and Yamamoto should be thanking him for giving him this great opportunity to see it one last time. He immediately strikes the head captain with a bolt of lightning, but Yamamoto just stands there as he starts to reflect back on his previous meetings in the past with Chojiro. We're shown a younger version of Yamamoto as Chojiro follows him close behind, calling him Ijisai. Hope I'm saying that right. A nickname that he gave him because of the scar on his head. He starts to tell Yamamoto that he wants to become his right arm, not his disciple, in order to compensate for whatever it is he is unable to do in the future. He plans on proving himself by fighting Yamamoto with his master Bankai. Inevitably, Chojiro ends up losing, but he was able to get one good strike and make a scar on Yamamoto's head, but he promises that he will continue to improve his Bankai in order to protect him. Back to the present, where Overkill is just unleashing countless attacks on Yamamoto. Hisagi attempts to help the head captain, but he just yells at him and tells him to wait. Overkill continues to attack, but Yamamoto starts saying how Chojiro must be mortified, because the Bankai he spent so much time to improve was not this weak. He finally strikes back and burns the flesh right off Overkill's body. The chapter epically ends here. This was a pretty good chapter. It was cool to finally get a flashback to Yamamoto where he actually looked pretty young. It was cool to see the little backstory to Chojiro and find out what his relationship with Yamamoto was really like. It's a total shame that his character wasn't fleshed out in the series before he died. He's always just been this random throwaway character who's either memorable for doing nothing or that moment where he got bitch slapped by Ichigo towards the end of Soul Society arc. But this chapter showed that he was actually a pretty interesting character with a pretty sick Bankai. My favorite part was definitely the very last page where Yamamoto just obliterates Overkill, and you can see his skull and his ribs and shit. It's pretty gruesome, but it's great because Kubo's growing some balls and getting a little realistic with what would happen if someone were to have their whole body engulfed in flames. With that fight wrapped up, I'm hoping we get back to Ichigo and everyone back in Hueco Mundo. We're still all dying to know who the mysterious swordsman was at the end of chapter 500, and we need to know how Ichigo is going to escape that jail that he's been trapped in. I've been hearing some theories that in the last chapter, Ichigo appeared to be on the verge of holofying in the prison. I'm not so sure about that, but I hope it's true because it's been a while since we've seen him put on the mask. But let me know what you all thought of the chapter. What did you think of the flashback to a young Yamamoto and the reveal of Chojiro's Bankai? And what do you think is going to happen next week? Will we stay in Soul Society and see some other fights, or are we going to head back to Ichigo and crew? That's all for this week, but please remember to comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more Bleach reviews and possibly some other reviews. Alright, peace everybody.